Good morning. It's 8:05 a.m. Eastern Standard Time on this Monday, May 12th, or May 11th. Wait a minute, May 12th?
Yes.
2025. I'm XRP Future Millionaire, and I reside in the great state of Michigan. It's in fact May 12th. So I have a new touchscreen that we're going to test out here. It's a 41 or 42 inch TV. It's touchscreen. This is not what I'm going to do during my lives at night. This is just for the morning update to try to spice it up a little bit and try to keep it interesting. We've got XRP right now at 4.05%, up to $2.46. For some of you who watched at the end of last week about the mining stocks, I talked about wholesaling them about last Wednesday when they had a significant rise up. I felt like we were about to have a cycle flip because I thought we were going to keep the federal funds rate the same, which was the interest, which we did. We kept it the same. Well, now we see on Monday morning the DXY surge up to 101.65. And now we've got gold down $104 an ounce today, or 3%. We've got silver down 1.4%. Mining stocks are going to get obliterated today. At least that's what it looks like to start. So I'm glad we're on top of that. But we got to get into XRP. And this is good for the rotational tug because money's finding its way out of precious metals and mining stocks. And it's finding its way right into the risk asset, which is fantastic. XRP right now is sitting at $2.46. We've got, let's see, we'll start out in the 15. So we've got a little bit of it started off as a reversal candle this 15 minute, but look how this is teetered in. That's back to the top side, so if we can close in 7 minutes, we've saved that candle. Let's take this into a bigger time frame here. So in the daily, we're still looking fantastic. Let's go into the weekly real quick. I just want to see something because I'm going to make the screen smaller. But this is a very wide pattern, so in order to be able to see this properly, you're going to have to see it like this. So that was a descending triangle that it broke out of. And now you see a couple of the numbers there. If we break this into a smaller time frame, it's going to make it a lot easier to see. So we've had the first resistance. We came up above, and it was right around here. We'll move this over here. $2.22 we broke. Then we ended up getting rejected around the 240 initially. Came back through with a small rising wedge. Nothing major, though. It was nothing major. It basically filled out the technical drop. The technical drop was about 229, 230. It came down to about 232, which it actually was at the top end. So, I mean, you have the fair value gap. You had like the halfway point. More than that, you filled up. So, technically, we are bullish. We just left that 229 area, which is fine. That used to be the old resistance. Then it became a support. And we talked about how that was the technical drop from the small rising wedge, and it was no big deal. We just talked about it on, I think it was Saturday in the live. We talked about coming down to 229, but holding that area would stop us from coming down to 219, which is fortunately what happened. The rising wedge, it reversed after the little bit of a correction, which is absolutely phenomenal the way this happened. If I'm being honest, this is the way we want it to be. Let's see. I already passed it. See, I'm still getting used to this, but bigger screen. Where the hell's the brush? Where you at, brush? I need you. Brush. There it is. So, we had this nice rounding of the bottom. Now, where we broke out, we technically, because we rounded, we're pushing. Our next area is going to be that 265 over the top, like, this hooked. We're technically at the double top right now. As long as we power through here, we're basically pushing through right now. The next big resistance is going to be 265. And if we go into, this is where it gets interesting. But I do not go to the other chart. Because now we're pushing out of here, this is where it gets really interesting. Because if this is the wave 5, let's put this into a bigger time scale. And I know I'm aimed this way, but I even put a mic on to show everybody how it actually picks up better on the tablet without the headset because of the way it works on YouTube. But if we're in this 5-wave Elliott wave, look at this. So we came up to 1, down to 2, up to 3, corrective 4. Now, we've had this. If this is the fourth wave corrective and it finished here, you know, you could be looking at a big ass bounce here over $5. And I mean, you're going to fill this out to like 549. That's the technical push up. And I actually really like this touchscreen. I haven't really experimented with it much because it came in late last night. Me and Julie put it together for this morning. I really like this. I don't know how it's going to be received, but I do like this. I'm going to have to mess with it a little bit, make it a little clearer and things like that. But we'll see, because this is very much the demand zone up here. Very much a demand zone. And if it can fill through the demand and we can get out of this area, if we get through here, we're going into discovery, and this is going to be huge. This would be huge. We're already off to a really good start. We have an inverse head and shoulders that was formed perfectly. Left shoulder, head, right shoulder, perfectly 5 days ago. Bounced out, stayed on top of this box. It looks to be powering through now. This is fantastic. This is fantastic. Now, if we can break 265, we're going to have a big resistance up here at 272, which it makes sense, because if you were to come all the way up here into this area, that 272 is the demand zone. Once you get into demand and then you break into discovery and break above $3.35, that's when we're going to have a very, very big opportunity here to go not just to $4, but $5 plus. Like, that's where that big opportunity is going to come, and I can't wait. It's a spectacular start to the day, though. Now we're almost up to 250. This is fantastic. We got XLM up 4.5%. This is phenomenal start to the morning. Look at this bull flag here, too. If you just look at the side, look at that bull flag that's about to break out. This is going to be... XDC, I continued buying more on Bitunix. I'm up to 35,000 tokens, FYI. So I've been just buying every time it drops here the last couple days. Ever since I realized on Saturday that Bitunix had it again, or had it. So Bitunix has XDC in spot. So if you're looking for XDC, absolutely look at this, because this was our targeted left shoulder head down to a corrective, and now it held the back test. So now if we take this out of here, it held this. Now we created this inverse head and shoulders. Pivot point at 7.7 cents. If this breaks over this, you measure the base of that inverse head, and you can get a little bit of a measurement here. We could get a tiny measurement. We could just say, you know, we started left shoulder, we got a little bit of the base. Even if you wanted to come from up here, which I think is appropriate, you could come from up there. And this isn't going to be your big target. This is just going to be like, hey, whoops, what do we have to do for this to be super bullish? So we'd want to break this resistance. You get to the top here, right? You want to break this. Whoops. And then power out of here just a little bit. Although some of these formations, now that they've broken down, I want to get rid of. So like this little thing right here, get rid of this. It's in the way. That's pretty good. This doesn't need to be here. That was a little bit of a wedge that didn't play out, which, well, it played out perfectly to the downside. So 8.9 cents. If this small inverse head plays out into a shoulder, it's going to come up here to retest that 9 cent mark. I think that's a very fair bet. And if we can keep holding the 20-day, this would be fantastic. We've bounced off the 200-day the whole way through here. So that's spectacular. That's what you want to see. And then what you're going to want to see here, and I'm going to have to release this. It's almost 8:15. I got to get my son to school. But I wanted to do a diligent update. So here's the 200. As long as this travels and then you start doing this, you want to see the price action start to bounce to 200 until we eventually bounce out. So that's what we're going to want to see there. See how it's a nice rounding on the bottom, nice inverse head and shoulders, it looks like. So I think XDC is getting ready here. I think it's getting ready. We'll cover more of this soon. XLM's up to 32 cents. So it's starting to make a play here big time. But we'll talk about more this afternoon. This is the technical target on this breakout. We got a technical move up to 56 cents. I'm trying to keep it in the daily so we can see it slightly bigger and take more of the, not the macro, but more of the medium range instead of just the micro and the hourly, or, you know, I want to see more of the medium term for the week, so to say. Right now, fantastic start in golfing. Everything's looking good across the board. We should have the corrective, though. Some kind of corrective is going to happen as the U.S. wakes up. We know this. They tend to feast on the USA. So be aware that we could have a corrective phase here in the USA, 9:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, 6:30 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. And yes, on the Pacific Coast, or on the West Coast, you're up earlier, but you understand that because the stock market opens at 6:30 a.m. So with that being said, I hope this helped. Bitcoin's down about $242. So we're commanding a little more dominance. It's down to 62.63%, down about 3 points in the last several days. So this is a great sign. It's a great sign. So XRP Bitcoin pairing up 5.59%. We'll talk about this later. Have a blessed day, everybody. Take advantage of the day. And we'll touch base in a little bit. Thank you so much.